Hi everybody, I hope you're all doing okay. I've missed you all on Sunday and I'm thinking about you and praying for you, and I'm sure the others are as well. Before we start, it's really important that we mention it's Greg's birthday this week. Happy birthday, Greg. I'm so happy for you. I hope you have a really lovely birthday or had a really lovely birthday. And I think before we carry on, we all need to sing happy birthday to Greg. A happy birthday to you, a happy birthday to you. Every day of the year, may you feel Jesus near. A happy birthday to you, a happy birthday to you, and the best one you've ever had. And I think before we carry on and lose our singing voices, I think we should sing our song. There is no one else like you, there's no one else like me. Each of us is special to God, that's the way it's meant to be. I'm special, you're special, we're special, don't you see? There is no one else like you, there's no one else like me. Black or white, short or tall, good or bad, God loves us all. Loud or quiet, fat or thin, each of us is special to Him. There is no one else like you, there's no one else like me. Each of us is special to God, that's the way it's meant to be. I'm special, you're special, we're special, don't you see? There is no one else like you, there's no one else like me. Black or white, short or tall, good or bad, God loves us all. Loud or quiet, fat or thin, each of us is special to Him. There is no one else like you, there's no one else like me. Each of us is special to God, that's the way it's meant to be. I'm special, you're special, we're special, don't you see? There is no one else like you, there's no one else like me. Well done, everyone. I promise you, no more singing today. So, yeah, we were on Sunday going to meet up and have our Easter group. And so I'm going to tell you the Easter story today. Enjoy. The Sunday before Easter Sunday, we call Palm Sunday. Now, on Palm Sunday, Jesus rode a donkey into Jerusalem, and people laid down palm leaves and coats and were praising Jesus, and it was a joyous occasion. Now, on 4 days later, on what we call Maundy Thursday, everything seemed to go very wrong. Jesus had a meal with his disciples called the Passover meal. While they had the Passover meal, Jesus had bread and wine. Now he took the bread, broke it, distributed it among the disciples, and said, "This is my body given for you. Do this in remembrance of me." After that, he took the wine, asked the disciples to drink it, and said, "This is my blood given for you." Now, if you notice, somebody's actually leaving because they're causing trouble. Judas had already met with the soldiers and the Jewish leaders and the teachers of the law and agreed for 30 pieces of silver to show them which one was Jesus so they could arrest him. So early in the morning, on Good Friday morning, they went and found Jesus in the garden, and Judas showed them which one Jesus was by giving him a kiss on the cheek. So the soldiers grabbed him and arrested him, and he was taken before Pilate. Now Pilate questioned Jesus and decided that there was no reason to arrest him or charge him or have him crucified. But when he went back to the people insisted Now, there was a tradition back then where one person would be released back to the people, and even though he was a murderer, the people insisted that they release Barabbas. So Barabbas was released, and when it came to Jesus, they called out, "Crucify him, crucify him." Reluctantly, Pilate ordered that Jesus be crucified. Now, the soldiers mocked Jesus when he'd been handed over, and they beat him, and they put a crown of thorns on him, and he was so weak that they had to ask Simon to carry the cross for him. When they got to a place called Golgotha, which means the skull, they crucified Jesus, and they mocked him even more. And they put a sign above his head saying, "King of the Jews." Now, on that day, they were also crucifying two thieves, and they were on the cross. They were on the crosses next to Jesus, one either side of Jesus. Now, one thief was insulting Jesus, but the other thief challenged him and said, "He's done nothing wrong." And then he asked Jesus to have mercy on him, and Jesus reassured him that he would be with him in heaven that day. Now, at noon, or what we call midday, the sky went black. Jesus realized that it was coming to the end, and he called out, "It is finished," bowed his head and took his last breath. And then the curtain in the temple was torn in two, and the soldiers had realized that Jesus must have been a righteous man and the Son of God. Now, because it was the Sabbath the next day, it was now what they call Preparation Day. And on Preparation Day, because they're not allowed to do anything on the Sabbath in terms of work, they prepare everything the day before the Sabbath on Preparation Day. And so, because they wouldn't have been able to do anything with Jesus' body on the Sabbath day, a man called Joseph of Arimathea, because he was from a town called Arimathea, came with a man called Nicodemus, and they brought with them a lot of herbs and spices, and they got the linen cloths and wrapped Jesus with the herbs and spices in the linen cloths and placed him in the tomb. The tomb was sealed so that nobody could get in or out, and a guard or a soldier was put in front of the tomb so that nobody could get to Jesus' body and Jesus couldn't get in or out. Now, the next day was Easter Sunday. No, the Sabbath, nothing happened. On Easter Sunday morning, Mary came running to the tomb, and when she got there, she found that Jesus was gone. The stone was rolled away, and Jesus was gone, and there was nobody inside. So she went running to Simon Peter, and he went into the tomb with another disciple, and they found him gone too. All that was left was the linen that Jesus was wrapped in, that was it. And then Mary was left crying outside the tomb. Now, two angels appeared and asked Mary, "Why are you crying?" Mary replied, "They have taken my Lord away, and I don't know where he is." Then she turned round and saw Jesus behind her, but she didn't realize it was Jesus. Jesus asked her, "Why are you crying? Who are you looking for?" Now, Mary thought Jesus was the gardener, and she said, "If you've carried him away, please tell me where he is, and I'll get him." So Jesus called her name and said, "Mary." She instantly recognized Jesus' voice and realized it was Jesus. And she called out, "Rabboni," which means teacher. So Mary had seen Jesus alive. Now, on that evening, the disciples were in a room, and they'd locked themselves in the room because they were scared that the Jewish leaders and the teachers of the law were going to have them killed like Jesus. And as they were sitting in the room, Jesus appeared to them. Now, as you can imagine, they would probably have been terrified, And so Jesus said, "Peace be with you." So Mary's seen them and seen Jesus alive, and most of the disciples have seen them alive. But Thomas, he had to put his hands in Jesus' side and in Jesus' hands and feel the wounds before he knew that it was Jesus. But they all knew that he was alive. And Jesus kept coming back to see them every so often until he went back to heaven to be with God the Father on 40 days later, on what we call Ascension Day. And that's how Jesus saved us all from our sins and made it possible for us to join him in heaven with God the Father one day. So I have 2 Easter crafts for you. One of them is I've sent to Doreen, and it's a stained glass window style Easter themed craft, and you basically colour it in and you can stick it in your window and it looks very pretty. The other craft, if you go to a link in the description below, you can print out an Easter themed colouring sheet, and that is the other option for the craft. So yes, it's been really good to reach out to you all. Again, I've missed you on Sunday afternoon, and I'm looking forward to being able to see you again, hopefully in the not too distant future. See you soon. Bye.